HCTV Sports is supported by Balanced Wealth Management, Retirement, Planning, Expertise. Farmers Insurance, the Katie Lindbergh Agency. Katie Lindbergh, Hastings Downtown Farmers Insurance. If you don't know insurance, you need to know her.
First goal of the year goes for the Raiders.
Oh, beautiful shot there. Nicely done. Gets the pin. Oh, was that beautiful?
Onside kick, and it's recovered by Hastings.
And he's rung up for strike three.
Doblowy! Touchdown Raiders!
All right, welcome those of you tuning in on AM 1460 KDWA and HCTV, as this is Josh Colvin bringing you the Rochester Century John Marshall Panthers versus the Hastings Raiders on boys hockey. We are joined back on the radio side. We will have starting lineups here. As I mentioned, coming into this game, Raiders 9-4, Rochester John Marshall 11-2-1. Your starting lineups for Rochester John Marshall. Boy, they put everyone on the roster online, so we'll work our way through it. In goal, number 50, that's Kyle Loppe. He faced the Raiders last year down in Rochester as they were able to take it to him. On the defensive side, on center, boy, I'm looking for him to turn. That's number 3, Block Clary. On his wing, number 10, we got that one, Ole Fevold. And the other wing, number 24, that's Calvin O'Reilly. On the defensive side, number 5, Justin Sutton, and his partner, that's number 11 for Owatonna, Owen Tominello. Sorry, not Owatonna, that was Tuesday. I'll get these mixed up. So those are your starters for Rochester. As we mentioned, they beat Cambridge Isanti, Farmington, and Tartan. 2 of those the Raiders have already beaten as well, so a good matchup for them. In goal for the Raiders today with a 2.33 goals against, a 9.15 save percentage, number 31, Brooks Smirsky. On the starting front end, the third leading scorer and center, number 24, Connor Zagoda, 6 goals, 14 assists, 20 points. His wingers are number 14, Blake Vanderhoff. He is tied for the lead with the other winger, number 21, John Harris. Both have 27 points on the year. So you're talking about a combined 74 points so far between those starting lineup. On the defensive side, senior captain, number 4, Johnny Tegland, and his partner, number 19, Brody Carlson. On the radio side, we're going to step away here as we get our national anthem. We will be back here, Raiders and Rochester on AM 1460 KDWA. Great job, as always, by Emily Chandler and the Hastings Pep Band as we get ready for puck drop. Buckets going back on the heads. Raiders will be on the right on your radio dial. The Panthers will be on your left. In goal for the Raiders, number 31, Brooks Smirsky. We see this goalie matchup here between Kyle Hoppe. Very similar numbers as far as goals against, but the save percentage advantage, 9.15 for Smirsky in his first year in Hastings versus an 8.97 for Kyle Hoppe on the other side. Again, good goaltending is what we saw last year between these two teams. I would expect it again this year. Hoppe with the advantage in minutes, but part of that's due to the fact that the Raiders feel confident rolling out two goaltenders. Ryan Clemens, the other senior netminder for the Raiders, number 29, came out, played a great game, only surrendering 2 against the Owatonna Huskies on Tuesday night. So with 3 games this week, not surprising, Raiders using a little bit of load management here. I know that sounds kind of silly in high school athletics, but it's such a common thing for goaltenders now that you're seeing it even in the high school if you're lucky enough to have that, as the Raiders do. There you see the Raiders coaching bench, Coach Klein, Kuhn, and Stoffel. This is Stoffel's 3rd year on the bench with Coach Klein. Kuhn has been around for, I don't know, for a young guy, feels like he's been around for a decade and a half. So those of you tuning in, listening in, hey, enjoy, buckle up. This should be a great matchup between 2 former 1AA opponents. Instead, we are now just non-conference. Puck is dropped. At that face-off, Raiders end up with it, a neutral draw, sits in, battling at the blue line. That is Vandoff. He forces it to go to D. It's chipped out in the neutral zone. There's going to be a no icing call, so Carlson's going to race down to the right of Smirsky. Rings it up around, takes a weird hop off the boards, and the Panthers able to hold it in. Now a shot as that one trickled through everyone. And number 24, that's Calvin O'Reilly, able to get the backhander, but Smirsky puts the big old meat pit on it, and that one ends up stopping. As the Raiders just had an unfortunate bounce off of that. Goes from the D and it just trickles through everyone. Luckily Smirsky paying attention early, and so at 16:37 as another shot goes wide, the Raiders able to keep that door closed. Chipped up, held it at the point by 5. That's a shot blocked by Carlson. That's a stinger. He's hurting there. Into the corner he goes against number 10 for Owatonna, Oli Fevold. Fevold now loses at it. It's chipped up in the near side. Lost. Here's O'Reilly. Leaves it. Now a save by Smirsky. Awkward save there, but he keeps it out. That's all that matters. Raiders a little bit behind the play as Owatonna, gosh, I got to get that out of my head, as Rochester able to get a change even right away. Smirsky sets it. Teglin behind the net as number 7 gives pressure. That's Aiden Emmerich. Raiders send it down. No icing. Vanderhoff, the first one in their battles. Lappy had it go off of his stick. And so now the puck drops in front. Raiders goes to the backhand. And one of the challenges for the Raiders we talked about is a whole lot of right-handed forwards. And there you see Geib, good positioning, but it's tough to get that shot off from the slot as he's a righty catching it on that offside. Chumson behind the net of the netminder Lappy, battling. Bounces over his stick. He's 1-on-2, facing 2 Panthers. Number 2, Brody Jocelyn there with them before it slides out to that left-hand side. Panthers get the red, then the blue of the Raiders. Shot. Save, Smirsky, rebound, shot, and that one he holds on to. As the Raiders now down 4-0 shots on goal. Good news is none of that stuff matters because the score is still 0-0 with 15:20 left here in this first period. You can see one of the things the Raiders working on is how do they match up? How do they prevent second shots? This time, Smirsky leaves a little bit of a juicy one there in no man's land, but able to swallow it up. Now Beff off of that set play. Has it just go underneath the stick of Geib. Geib now sends it forward before Cooper Hedin gets it and then ramps it up into the short side of the Noah's Ark here. Face-off will ensue. Referee is giving the hand. The linesman's looking for where are we going. They're going to go center ice face-off based on where it was played out. So stepping in for the Panthers is Brecken DeWeese, versus Sawyer Chumson. Remember, I'm learning these names on the fly here, Rochester people, so thank you for tuning in. Oh, big hit! As down to the ice goes Luke Wallstrom. He had his head down. You don't see hits like that very often anymore in any level of hockey. Wallstrom up, though, good. Now the Raiders, Zaruba sends it in. Just missing on the tip was Geib. Now another shot, this one by Beff. Big rebound by Lappy, and now Rochester sends it in the Raiders' zone. No icing as Chumlin's going to get it in time. Bounce pass left to right, misses Beff. Now on the half wall, up top, inside the Rochester zone. That's number 42 setting up on the half wall. Cycling it back down. Zaruba's stick is on the wrong side, so got to be careful not to get a hook. Low to high they go. Left-hand blue line. Shot just looking to get it through traffic, doesn't get on net. And here comes number 20, Braden Kraut. Kraut now slides around, gets it up to Savage. Savage crosses the red, then the blue, dumps it. Savage, one of 2 sophomores getting regular action. Number 8, Will Savage, and then number 10, Luke Niederkorn as well, the defender who's out there on the left-hand side. Rochester chips out. They've got speed. Crossing, they get the blue. Here's 10, and a shot right into the chest of Smirsky by Fevold. Fevold, the 3rd leading point getter for Rochester. He's got 8 goals, 10 assists for 18 points so far. You can see the Raiders just got caught with a couple of guys on the wrong side of it. Net side, as that'll let Owatonna get out on the far boards with speed and space. Face off to the right of Smirsky. Regenscheid has that lost. Ripped shot. That one goes dumped corner to the right-hand side in front of the student section, the pep band. And now that's Kraut that almost sets up a rush for Savage. Back the Raiders go. Here's Niederkorn. Inside the Raiders zone to the far red line. Right in front of the penalty box to Kraut. Goes off his stick and picking up his Jocelyn. Jocelyn reverses it to his deep partner behind the net. Back to the far side they go. Stepping out on the blue line. Crossing with possession. This is 24. He steps across. Looking on this side, centering pass, well broken up, and then a trip, but it's going to be a bad call. Rochester not going to be happy about it. Raiders will be. Vanderhoff across, shot, save, rebound in front, and they're going to say that Rochester touched it there. Beautiful opportunity. I think that trip actually was Raider on Raider crime here. We'll see if we can get a better look here. But the Raiders cross up, number 3. For Rochester, ends up getting the call. That's Brock Clary for a trip at 13-16. So he's going to go to the box. His stick gets caught around, but I honestly think the stick that took down the Raider was its own player. Regardless, Raiders bringing a 20% power play. They're going to dump it down behind the net. That's 5. Sutton battling 2-on-2. Vanderhoff comes up with it, slides it up to the near side boards to Beff. Beff to the half wall to Vanderhoff. This is where they play keep away. Vandy has it, left circle, pounces off his stick, and now Beff retreats, 2-on-1 for Rochester, shorthanded, comes in the left side, shot, good stick by Beff, forces that up and around into the glass, and then the Raiders have time to regroup. Beff steps out, near side to Carlson. Carlson goes, crosses the red. Holding up was Zagota, so now Carlson's just going to wheel. He's on the wrong side of where he wants to be, so he's going to give it to Vandy and wait. Beff at the top, back to Vandy, centering to Zagota, shot, rebound, good play by Zagota there, in stride to be able to get that shot on net. Rebound, though, was unable to get on the stick of somebody we needed, so we're back at Vanderhoff's half wall on the left-hand side. Vandy, Zagota, 2-on-2 with Harris there. They give it up to Beff and then bounce back. Raiders a little bit bunched up here, and that forces the puck to go all the way down. Where number 5, Justin Setton now rings it. Back into the corner on the far side, and that puck will be iced all the way down by Owen Tominello. Smirsky has it, 11:58 left here in this first period, 40 seconds left on the penalty to Clary on the trip for Rochester. Shots on goal back to evened up. Stretch pass, ramped up, that goes off of the stick of Kraut. I think it went off the ceiling, but they're going to say no. Now in the corner, here's that second unit. Regenscheid, drop pass to Savage. Savage steps around to check, in front of the Zamboni doors, deep in the right-hand far corner. Savage still battling. Regenscheid helping out, does so. In front is Kraut looking, but there was a good stick by 46 to force a turnover in Bo Bondi. Bondi sends it the length of the ice, and that'll effectively kill off this power play. So Rochester able to survive the first strike as far as the disadvantage in players. Raiders now send it in. We're back to 5-on-5. Teglin pinching, and referee doing a good job of walling him off, unfortunately. And then Kraut has it. He tries to fire, finds a blue skate, as now here comes Rochester with speed. O'Reilly has a good step. That's number 24, one of their captains. Keep an eye on O'Reilly tonight, as every time he's on the ice, it sure seems like he's got a really quick first step. Zaruba, pass to the hash to Savage. Savage, good centering pass to get it out to Regenscheid, but then back pressure by Favold knocks it off his stick. Here comes Tominello, up to Clary. Clary now rings it to the right. Back inside the Raiders zone, deep right corner, in front of the pep band, 2-on-2, both Raiders players there trying to battle. We actually get a wing involved as now Chumsland comes up with it. Bounce pass, but Zaruba took an interesting path, and ends up on the wrong side of the net. Now Kraut, centering pass, gets in the neutral zone, but just a little too far for Chumsland. Raiders get it deep, no icing. They're going to say it's tipped, and Tominello steps out on the far side. He's going to try and wheel, crosses to the near side, gives it up. That one passed just a little bit behind the stick there of Hedin. Back goes Sutton. Sutton now rings it to the far side. 13, first time we've called his name. Landon Cans now sends it up, and getting the zone is Rochester. 42, near side drop pass, just misses. That was Jocelyn. Now Jocelyn has it. Time, space, wrister hits the post. Comes out, and then Wallstrom pushes it out of danger before number 17. We're going to go with Huber. He pushes it down into the corner. 9:35 left. We are through 7.5 minutes here, and it is even 0-0 between Raiders and Panthers. Shots on goal, 4 apiece. Puck chipped out by Guide. And then a good chip by Zagota to get to Vanderhoff. Vanderhoff delaying, looking, sends it over. One-timer, Harris! That one goes off the stick of number 8, Pronk, up into the glass. Raiders able to try and set up a forecheck here before the Panthers send it to the near side. Hedin now, centering pass, gets it out before Zagota comes down, and down goes Zagota. No call on that one. Harris to Vanderhoff. Vanderhoff, right-hand side. Shot saved by Lappy. He was looking for Harris there, but Harris, again, a right-hand shot coming down the center, and Vandy was on the right-hand side. Harris would have to open up to do anything, and there was just too much pressure there for that. Smirsky, really dangerous shot here from that top of the dot earlier, beat him blocker side, and then the Raiders doing a great job collapsing to clear that out. Face-off won by the Raiders. Here's Zaruba. Zaruba down deep to Vanderhoff. Vanderhoff, right-hand side shot. That deflects up. Rings around to Beff on the near side boards. Bounce pass to Harris. Harris cycles it in the left-hand corner to Vanderhoff, and then back up to Beff. Beff, D to D wide. Zaruba, one-timer. That one is blocked by Plunk. Set up to 4-4, coming in hard. Good job covering by Beff. That takes away anything that Burmeister would have had a chance for. Rochester offsides. Should have been called there. But regardless, delayed. The Raiders now able to get the red, trying to get it deep. They get it inside the zone. Zagota takes a diver at it, and Harris comes up with it. Up in front is Kraut waiting. Harris loses it. Now left-hand corner, Kraut up to Zaruba. Zaruba tries to thread it through, doesn't. That goes off of number 4, Burmeister, and the Raiders retreat. 8 minutes left here. 5-4 shots on goal in favor of the Raiders. Early game was carried by Rochester, and then the Raiders, after that power play, able to do a good job of re-tilting that ice to the left. Into the neutral zone we go. Carlson, bounce pass, up, Kraut, far side boards, trying to keep possession, goes off a Regenscheid skate, and picked up by Sutton. Sutton now bounces it to the middle. Clary has it, looking for the diagonal pass, just behind Feveld. Feveld now spins, backhands it, and Smirsky goes wide to the corner, rips it up the glass. That goes off of Kraut, and it stays in the zone. We've got something, and I see a Regenscheid down, and so there's a roughing call on Feveld. I'm going to guess he disagrees. I didn't see it, ladies and gentlemen. So number 10 is going to go to the box for a rough, as it was just a whole bunch of action. Smirsky came out, played the puck up. Interesting time and tough one to play there. And I think they're going to say it's on that big hit. The coach for Rochester taking a look, talking about it, asking his question, but regardless, the captain, he's going to sit in the box for 2 minutes for a rough.
HCTV Sports is supported by Balanced Wealth Management, Retirement Planning and Expertise.
Happened regardless. Face off for the Raiders' second power play of the game. Rochester, boy, that's strike 3 on me, isn't there, Hunter? Rochester, 86.3 on the kill so far this year. They are 1 for 1 today. They were able to kill off that penalty to Clary on the trip. Now Raiders step out. Good job by Beff. Gets it to Carlson. Carlson dump right to left. Raiders now. Vanderhoff lifts that stick. Zagota does a good job of pushing it out, but just a little bit too far to the right for Beff, and as he reaches that long stick, unable to keep it on this side of the blue line. So the face-off will be at the offensive zone, neutral zone face-off, dot, on the left-hand side right in front of Rochester's bench. Zagota has it knocked off his stick, and then a good job by number 2. That's Jocelyn, sends it the length of the ice, so the Raiders will retreat and regroup. Beff with plenty of time and space. Steps out, forced pass to Carlson, and that's not the play you want to make there. No dangerous turnover, but he passed it right into pressure. The entire point of a pass is to beat one guy. That one he passed it into Carlson with pressure. So here comes Beff, try number 2. Good job to Carlson. Now there's time and space. He's going to get the blue. He's going to end up bounce pass around. Tried to instead. Bounces to Harris. That almost was a dangerous play for the Raiders. Now back to Vanderhoff, right-hand side, down low. Harris centering, shot, save! What a save by Lappy there. That is the save of the game so far. Harris saw Carlson streaking down on the right-hand side, hit him tape to tape. Lappy goes sprawling on this one, extends the glove, and just robs number 19 and keeps this a scoreless game. So 1:01 left here. Raiders keep their first power play unit out. Face off. That one's actually won by Rochester. Here's Tominello, who flips it up and into the box. The face off will be in the Panthers zone. 6:26 left here. First period of scoreless action between Rochester and the Raiders. Zagota, that one's won. Harris helps it back to Carlson. Carlson's going to ring it hard around, hits the Zamboni door, and that takes an unfortunate bounce as it never got all the way where you'd want. So now Smirsky stops it, and Beff sets up behind the Raiders' net, 200 feet from where they want to be. Steps out. Right through the middle comes Beff. Walks to the right-hand side. Has time, delays, but delays too high. There's pressure. Smirsky way out, sends it. Tries to pressure it up, ends up just clearing it, which is okay in the fact of where it ended up. But the Raiders have to push down on that power play a little bit before they delay. Delayed way too close, so one guy covering 2. And that zone entry, a little bit messy there on that last one. Regenscheid now pushes it past Tominello. Tominello, though, gets it to Sutton, and then it bounces off a Panther stick into the neutral zone, forcing Teglin to go all the way back. 5 seconds left on the man advantage. This one will be killed, so the Raiders are just going to set up in their zone. Bounce pass, stretch. That misses everyone, and so we're going to have an icing at 5:26 here. Light night for the stuff that gets broadcast. Wrestling is at St. Thomas, swimming and diving at Tartan. Tomorrow night, as I mentioned, on KDWA, Trey Lauer will be bringing you the girls' varsity basketball game as the Raiders take on South St. Paul. Boys' varsity basketball will take on South St. Paul as well, but that'll be in South St. Paul. Wrist shot from the point, misses. Short side, now wheeling. Low to high, at the right point. Now Jocelyn gives it over. Now another wrister just trying to get it through. The days of the big bomb slap shot through traffic are over at every level of competitive hockey as the Raiders dump it in. Giving chase is Savage. Good job. Nice hustle there by Savage. Allows a turnover. Now Crowd has it. Delaying, over to Teglin. That one just goes off to Hosel, and Teglin's going to ramp it down right to left behind the net. Defensemen now are not trying to score from the point off of just overpowering goalies. What they're doing is just trying to get it through. And so we see Rochester trying to get some traffic in front of Smirsky, see if they can get a deflection, a tip, or a rebound. Either way, the Raiders doing a good job of keeping things out of trouble. Here comes Wallstrom, across the blue line. Gives to Guide to Wallstrom, off of his toe, and to the left-hand side it stays inside Rochester's zone. Bounces out, Guide just has it behind him, and now a poke ahead. Hedin is ahead of 2 Raiders, but a good change. Now that lets Niederkorn come in, and that forces Hedin to just throw it off his back foot at the net where Smirsky blockers into the corner. 4 minutes left here. Maintaining possession are the Panthers. D to D, Tominello, wrister, and that one's steered to the corner by Niederkorn. Niederkorn a big push, and he's going to go to the box, as that's going to be 2 minutes for I'm Stronger Than Your Guy. Those of you maybe tuning in south of, let's say, Cannon Falls, I'm not paid to be unbiased unless we're having some simulcast pickups by other people here. Niederkorn goes to the box, as that's going to be called a cross check, but really, this is just a tough battle. They're both getting body position. He pushes on him with his right hand. The stick is off to the left, and he just has a little bit more weight room access, apparently, than the player from Rochester. So the Raiders will bring their kill at about 84% against Rochester's nearly 20% power play. 3:45 left. Raiders battling in the corner now. Rochester steps out near side. We'll see what they want to set up. On the right-hand side, up to the top, now looking for a wrister, gives it back. Now one-timer, fanned on, and now that's Harris. He's going to chip it ahead for Zagota. Zagota's going to be the first one down there on the puck. Harris lurking in front. Zagota steps around, trying to battle. Harris is going to back out now as Zagota all by himself turns it over and then has Harris with him. Now Harris has got to be careful here. 2 Raiders low, and now they're going to have to back check hard. Good news is, good position. Rochester gets the zone and met by Teglin. He just walls off number 7 there. Nothing going. Centering pass. That's a stick by Smirsky. And now we've got a whole bunch of pushing and shoving. Smirsky chipped it up and then tried to bat it out of the air. Not the recommended play there, but he ends up covering it up. So we get a whistle. Referees are going to say no harm, no foul. As interesting that they called Niederkorn for a cross-check earlier, and I saw distinctly number 4 for the Raiders come in and pop. There it is. And then a retaliation with Emmerich, so we got 2 cross-checks uncalled after Niederkorn sitting in the box for his. Vanderhoff out for the face-off. That one's lost. Given over left to right. Here comes Tominello. Wrister. Smirsky doesn't see it. Flies up over his head, and Chumson on the near side has enough time and space to rip it down 200 feet. So Lappy's number 50 going to set it up behind his net. 52 seconds left on the penalty to Niederkorn. Here come the Panthers through the middle. Slide pass, too far for anyone except for Carlson, who's going to send it back. Doesn't clear, but at least it's offside. Now Vanderhoff takes his time. Good, smart play there. Floats it down, kills some time. Raiders going to get 2 new up top. That does allow the Panthers to exit the zone. Here comes 10, walks in, stops at the hash, bounce pass around, looking for O'Reilly. O'Reilly on the right-hand side, debating about what to do with Tominello. Skates past him, now gives it on the left-hand side. Wrister blocked by the Raiders, and that puck nicely chipped up and out by Carlson. 13 seconds left. Zagota in the neutral zone. Oh, overskates that one. Here come the Panthers, walks in. That's Clary, good stick. Now a shot off the post. Awkward positioning by Smirsky, but it doesn't matter. The puck goes up into the rafters, and we will have a face-off with 1 second left on the penalty to Niederkorn here.
HCTV Sports is supported by Farmers Insurance, the Katie Lindbergh Agency. Katie Lindbergh, Hastings Downtown Farmers Insurance. If you don't know insurance, you need to know her.
And the girls versus Blaine. Niederkorn out of the box. That puck is sent up just too far for Harris. And so it's going to be an icing. We're going to reset, but the Raiders get 5 on the ice. So that'll make a big difference. Neither team able to capitalize on power plays. Rochester's gone to the box twice. Raiders gone once. And so both kills maintain that high above 84% penalty kill. Face off, given over, dangerous spot, shot, save. Smirsky easily cleared to the corner. He saw all of that. Now another one blocked by Teglin. Low to high again. Rochester utilizing the space on top. Raiders are happy to give it to him. Now here's Teglin. He's going to knife it off the near side boards just past Wallstrom. Jocelyn wants to go and has to wait though, as that was number 13 Cans. Had to get back tagged up. That allows the Raiders to send it in the neutral zone, and now here comes Geib, number 11. We've talked about him in the pregame show. Geib, Wallstrom, and Chumson just pests on the ice all over the place, causing problems and causing turnovers. This time they cause an icing. And again, it shows what you can do with just a high motor. All 3 players come out and just commit to being who's going to be our first forechecker, who's going to be our second, third one nice and patient up top, creating the turnovers higher in the zone. And so that allows the first line for the Raiders to step in with an offensive zone draw. Zagota has it, steps around, and here comes Rochester. They ring it. That's a set play. We see it all over the place. Here's Emmerich, walks in, drives past, looking for Burmester. Unable to get it. Now it's chipped behind the net of the Raiders to Carlson. Carlson, bounce pass, just trying to clear it out. Tominello, nice little hand bounce to himself. That's waved off. And high slot, Emmerich gives it low. Now a drop pass, Emmerich wide open, all alone through the 5-hole of Smirsky. And that goes into the corner though. Smirsky sprawling out wide open, and the Raiders still have not surrendered a goal. I say that surprised because Rochester's had some grade A chances. Beff now tries to get it off the boards, doesn't get any air under it, and so now turned over. Now the Raiders into the neutral zone. Burmester was the first forechecker there. He's going to work his way back, but on the stick of Sutton is the puck. Now Tominello. Tominello drops it over into the corners. That's going to be an icing as he did not get the red line. And the Rochester bench is doing the old, what are we doing here, boys? I'm pretty sure he got the red. The officials disagree. So with 6.4, Raiders with a chance here for an offensive zone faceoff to try and maybe finish something off quickly here. Faceoff, tied up, that's what you'd expect. Raiders unable to really generate a chance on that one, not surprising, as everyone's just going to tie up. And as 17 minutes expires, the Raiders and the Panthers are tied 0-0, 6 shots apiece. With that, on the radio side, we're going to take a commercial. We'll come back with our coach's interview, I believe, on the other side of this commercial break. You're listening to AM 1460 KDWA. On the TV side, we're just going to roll things. There are, since there was no scoring, not a lot of highlights for Hunter to pull to, so we're just going to take the commercial break. We'll be back on the other side with a coach's interview on HCTV. Thanks for tuning in. All right, we're back here. I'm going to turn the headset over to Coach Klein so he can hear as the pep band plays in the background. Great event you hosting the little kids out there, getting a chance to be with the big boys on the big ice. Talk a little bit first, though, about that first period. What'd you see? What'd you like? What do you want to get better at?
Yeah, again, for our side of it, I didn't think I don't think our eyes saw their speed right away. I mean, they're a very fast team, and their skill. We saw their skill in the JV game, so we knew there'd be skill at the varsity as well. You can't tell on tape because you're not on tape against them. So I thought we got off to a little bit of a start that we didn't need. We got better. We got chances. We created. Again, it's more workman-like right now, and that's kind of our style and how we can be successful.
Absolutely. I mentioned in the broadcast, boy, early on they kind of took it to us. What were the changes you made, though? Because the shots ended up even. Yep, they took the penalty, but it wasn't like the shots on goal all came on the man advantage. What are the other kind of adjustments you made to tilt the ice back as the period went on?
Well, it's just, let your eyes, let them believe. When we move the puck, again, we need our next guy moving where it's going to be going next. And I thought we were a little stagnant early, and we were just waiting for the puck to find us rather than earning pucks and winning with our feet. We moved it back to go forward a little bit better, I think, coming out of the zone at times as well. Again, they're a good hockey club. They take space away, and they're hard to play against. But again, as we kept playing, it was the period we needed it to be late.
Absolutely. Definitely looked a lot better second half of that period. Coach Klein, I'm going to let you get back to your job. Really hoping the second period comes out the way it ended the first.
I agree. Thank you.
For those of you on TV, we will be back at the end of the Zamboniing. For those on the radio side, we'll be back on the other side of this commercial break. Don't go anywhere. You're listening and watching Josh Colvin on AM 1460 KDWA. All right, we're back here on both AM 1460, KDWA and HCTV. I got to tell you, Hunter, that couldn't have been a better stick the landing as I literally got done with the commercial and we faded right in. Gosh, I got to tell you, I'm feeling good about what we're doing here, and I'm feeling good about how the Raiders finished that first period. You heard Coach Klein talk about the speed of Rochester a little bit much early on for the Raiders. I'm not sure if they were ready for that or anticipated that, but Rochester came out with a jump in their step. Good news is Raiders able to rally, retaliate, and come back and push things back at Rochester. We ended up scoreless. We ended up tied at 0-0. Shots on goal even 6-6 here after 17 minutes. Most active people maybe in that were the guys in zebra uniforms. 3 total penalties there. The first 2 to Rochester, a trip and a rough, and then a soft little nudging cross check to number 10, Lucas Niederkorn. Although I'm not saying that there weren't cross checks, I'm just saying the cross checks happened later. Johnny Teglin laying the lumber on a couple of Panthers that were near the netminder Smirsky. For this second period on your radio dial, we'll be going left to right. Smirsky in the net on the left, and Lappy, number 50, on the right. We mentioned on the radio, busy weekend ahead for me, busy week for Trey. He was already covering a little bit of hoops Tuesday. He'll be covering hoops tomorrow night. Later on in the broadcast, Hunter's going to let us know when HCTV is broadcasting again. As I mentioned, I'll be back on the radio Saturday at 2 for boys puck drop against Matamidi, and at 5 for girls puck drop against Blaine. So if my wife is listening, feel free to have a pizza delivered sometime around 4:30. Feel free to pick the place, but you know what I want. Raiders now win this first face-off momentarily before the Panthers pick it up. They go D to D, send it up, and here comes number 10. This is one of their leading scorers, trying to center it. Hits a big boot of Teglin off of his nice shiny new Supremes there. Teglin with a new pair of boots at the end of the senior year here. Now low to high, dragging it. That's Tumanello. He gets a high stick on it, but Zagota gets a piece of it. Sends it in the neutral zone to the player that sure has looked the quickest first step, Calvin O'Reilly, for the Panthers. Now there's a pileup in front of the in front of the penalty box. Raiders send it over. Harris shot, goal! Move the puck, move the angle, put it in the net. Harris doesn't stick handle, doesn't dangle. Instead, he just buries it. For sure, the first assist is going to Zagota. Harris, a right-handed shot, goes mid-blocker across the grain as Lappy has to adjust for it. And we're for sure going to get an assist to Vanderhoff on this one here. You can see Lappy just going left to right on that, unable to track his net, loses his angle a little bit, and Harris just waits him out, makes him pay. And at 16-19, Raiders up 1-0 over the Panthers here on a Thursday night edition of hockey. Carlson now has it. Chips it up. That's going to miss everyone, but they're going to say it was tipped and behind the net. That's the Rochester's number 2, Jocelyn. Jocelyn sends it to the near side board where it's tipped. Harris now picks a pocket, has it, it's bouncing, cycles it down into the far corner for Vanderhoff. Now puck finds Harris's stick, but it ends up being deflected. Now coming the other way, here comes Rochester. This is Emmerich. Emmerich on the left-hand side. Steps around, slides it past Carlson. Now the puck slides through, and into the net goes Emmerich, and we are going to have a penalty against the Raiders. Carlson got beat, lost a step, and he was forced to commit an infraction. They're going to say a trip. Yep, that was pretty clear. They're going to go with hook, actually. Call it what you want. Stick got tangled up. Really all that happened is a bad bounce, but a beautiful chance by the Raiders after they scored. And amazing, just the great thing about that first line for the Raiders is they move the puck unselfishly there. You can see all 3 guys getting in, realizing, hey, a point's a point's a point, so let's get it to the guy who can put it in the back of the net easiest. Unfortunately, the Raiders now going to have to kill this off with 15:41 left. Beff tries to get it out, unable to do so, as Fevold holds it in, sends it back behind the Raiders' net as Beff goes left to right. Bounce pass up, that hops in, giving chase. Here's going to be Geib, number 11. He's going to force Fevold to hit the brakes on the left-hand side of the netminder, sends it across to the right. Rochester's going to gain the Raiders zone on the right-hand side at the hash, pressured by Zaruba. That's number 11, Tominello. Tominello sends it behind the net. Loda high on the near side boards. Fevel trying to walk the middle, gives it over to the right-hand side. Rochester wants the right. Here's Clancy. Shot blocked by Beff. Good shot. Sorry, not Clancy. That's Clary. Remember, I'm learning these guys on the fly here. Fevel behind the net, pressured by Chumslin, reverses it. Here comes Clary out of the Rochester zone with speed. Wheels pushed to the near side boards, pressured by Harris into the check of Zagota with a big shoulder check. Down goes Clary, and the puck takes a weird carom into the neutral zone. Zagota back, pushing hard, and Jocelyn sends it up to Clary. Great pressure. Now Harris with Zagota. Zagota shot, weird deflection, ramps up into the netminder, and the Raiders now with Zagota with another stick pushes it into the corner. So with 45 seconds left, the best scoring chances on this man advantage have gone to the team in yellow. That's short a man. Now here's Jocelyn, walks in, short side, poked out front, it's loose. Now here comes the Panthers, setting up on the left-hand side. Pinky has it, sets up, goes to the right side. Sorry, that's Plonk. Now diagonal back, beautiful play, they had it. They had it, Emmerich just mitched it. They went from the right-hand side, blue line, to backdoor left. Number 7, Emmerich just couldn't get the angle on his stick. He had Smirsky beat, but it doesn't matter. The puck goes 200 feet back down to the netminder, number 50, Kyle Loppe. 9 seconds left till Carlson is released. 13:48 left here in this second period. Rochester going to try and get the zone. That puck is iced, and the Raiders will start 5-on-5 action here in the second period after the penalty with an offensive zone faceoff. Again, Rochester trying to do a whole lot. Interesting plays, but the Raiders doing a good job collapsing, and then Rochester again just a little bit caught on the wrong hand on certain situations, unable to get the puck on net. Chumslin's line comes out, that's number 26. On his wings are the only left-handed forward, Wallstrom, and then on the right is Geib. So the puck rung right to left by Beff, pinching in. Battle now on that left hash mark. That was Zaruba against Sutton, and Sutton comes up with it, goes behind the net weirdly to Tominello and back to Sutton. Stepping out on the near side in front of the pep band. He goes across to the blue line, as now Rochester gains the Raiders zone but without possession. Beff now in the left-hand corner, rings it D to D to the far side. Zaruba now, easy out for the Raiders. Great breakout. Here comes Geib. Geib, wrister into the feet of Tominello. And behind the net, tries to cycle it to Wallstrom, unable to do so as he's met by a blue jersey. And now here comes Rochester. They step around, good stick by Beff, but it doesn't end up on a Raiders controlled stick until Chumslin gives it to Zaruba. Again, bouncing puck. Nobody seems to have possession. Now dangerous play here. Plonk now held up by Zaruba. And we've got a couple of people who don't like each other, and that's going to happen. No harm, no foul. Both skating to the bench. Raiders dump it deep at 12:38 left here in this second period. Raiders up 1-0. As here's Fevel, comes in, drop pass, Clary now. O'Reilly, wrister, and held by Smirsky for a face-off at the 12:27 mark. A lot of action. What ends up happening most of the time on this stuff, it seems like lately, is just bouncing pucks, get away from both teams, and we just go back and forth. But that time O'Reilly able to get a wrister, but no traffic in front of Smirsky. And from that shot location, top left circle, you expect the netminders to stop all of those that they see. Now chipped out by Niederkorn. That is up past Savage, but that's okay. He's going to give chase on number 2, Jocelyn. Jocelyn behind his own net. Savage forced him to end up dropping it. Now Jocelyn gets it back. Good breakout pass there by his D partner into the neutral zone. Jocelyn, O'Reilly. O'Reilly's got a step. Short side shot hits the crossbar. That one beats Smirsky short side high. And the puck goes all the way down to Loppe. So the Raiders going to thank the iron a little bit here. Here's Regenscheid. Gives it up low to high in the offensive zone. Niederkorn, wrister, deflected. It's bouncing loose, shot. And Kraut just unable to get it through the traffic. Far corner inside the Rochester zone. Puck goes low to high. Niederkorn gives it to Carlson. He's got a little space, but fans on that puck. And at the hash mark, now we're battling 2-on-2 in front of the student section. Wrong, right to left, behind the net of Rochester. Good stick by Zagota. He's got Harris and Vanderhoff. Shot, hits the post, the Raiders. And Rochester trade short side blocker iron. And so it stays 1-1. Now wristed. That one by Carlson as two guys hit each other after the whistle. A Raider initiates and a Panther initiates, but everyone skates away. Both teams hitting iron. Raiders saved by the iron on one side, and then Rochester, as Zagota rips one, beats Lappy. He was a little bit deep in his crease there, didn't get his shoulder high enough to stop it. Regardless, puck doesn't go in, and so the Raiders maintain a 1-goal lead. Here it's won cleanly by Zagota to Zaruba. Down behind the net, Tominello chips it to Sutton. Sutton now tries to get it off. Zagota picks his pocket, cycles it back down to the left of the netminder. Tominello and Vanderhoff battle behind the net. Coming out with it was Sutton, chipped up, but not able to get it out. That was Burmester. Low to high, Teglin over to the near side D. That's Zaruba, tipped in front. Again, you see Zaruba does a great job of keeping those shots low through traffic to try and get some kind of tip deflection. We try again. Teglin to Zaruba. This time there's no lane, so he rings it down all the way to Harrison. We get back up. That one just a little bit quick on Teglin, and the puck goes in the neutral zone. Big hit. There is our pancake of the game. Absolutely, as Burmeister gets met by Zaruba, and the puck goes the other direction. Here's Harris. Has it short side. Wheels behind the net. Delaying to the top of the circle. Sends it back down to the corner. That's going to be Carlson who takes a digger. Unforced error there as he goes down, and that gives the Raiders a little bit of a mixed match of people. Harris almost comes up with it. He had Carlson waiting at the top of the circles. So the Raiders are going to finish that change. Carlson's going to go down on Burmeister. Burmeister, the one that Zaruba absolutely lit up in front. Now a good quick shot by Geib, short side, but the netminder Lappy was there. 9:52. I haven't had much chance to tell you the time or the score because it has been a much, much faster paced game so far this period. Rochester forced to dump it up over the head of Beff, who now stretches it. Raiders come in. This is Wallstrom, drop pass, Geib, high slot, shot. That's a block by Jocelyn, good job, and now here comes the other way. Here's Cans. Cans, number 13, hits the break, centering, open in front, change of direction with this angle. Jocelyn scores. Catches, the Raiders lost number 2, Jocelyn. A really, really good change of angle there on the pass. Finds Jocelyn, and in a really awkward spot, he ends up as a right-handed shot having to pull back behind his body, drags it into his feet, and goes short side upstairs on the netminder. Really, really good delay by Cans. And then the Raiders just got out of position there. I think what happened is the transition hockey. We see they just lose. Carlson has to go down on that. And then in front of the net, 2 guys commit to Cans. And that allows the third forward, which is actually defenseman Jocelyn, to come in and tie this game up at 9:20 with a score of 1-1. Raiders now trying to reestablish time and possession. Puck now. They are not even close. They've got it backwards. Jocelyn got the goal. Now the puck into the Raiders zone. Here is Fevold. So we're going to have to make a correction on that. That was not Cans that shot that. No chance. But Ford did also get the assist. That's Burmester. So the Raiders applying pressure but unable to extend their lead, and we've got a hand pass called against Rochester. Here we see this again. It's just a good play that chips out that Teglin has a hard time with because of how fast it came out. Big hit there by Zaruba, and that's you talk about is hitting allowed anymore. It is. The key is this: does he have the puck? Do you go shoulder to shoulder or hip to hip? Do you have your stick on the ice? You make contact with the head. If you don't do any of those last things, where you're extending through their head, they're going to allow it. And that was a great hit by Zaruba. So short stack to Zaruba for the pancake of the game so far. Puck now rimmed around. Here's Tominello in the corner. Kraut goes for the hit. Apparently he's hungry too. Centered. That one misses. Interesting lines here. We'll have to keep an eye out as Kraut is on a different line. Now O'Reilly short side. That bounces behind the net. Zagota chips up ahead looking for Kraut. Kraut, number 20 in. Relieves. And then cycles back. Kraut in the neutral zone has the puck. Gives it to Lucas Niederkorn. Niederkorn to Zaruba. Zaruba up to the short side. That bounces up into the Raiders bench. And we will have a line change. Good news here. I was a little worried because, again, Coach Klein is not a blender coach. What I mean by that is there's some guys that like to mix lines all the time where you're looking for some kind of spark. They're tinkerers. Coach Klein, not that guy. Let him build chemistry. And so when you see Kraut on the ice with Zagota and Harris, you start to worry, is somebody hurt? But Vanderhoff out there as he tangles right now with Bondi. Puck rung around behind the net of Rochester. Harris at the far blue line inside the Rochester zone, dumps it deep. Pinching down is Carlson. Plonk flips it up over his head, and a pop fly infield goes over the top of Harris. Now a 2-on-1. Here comes Burmester. Shot, saves. Smirsky punches that one all the way into the neutral zone. That forces Rochester to regroup. Now Jocelyn rips it. Smirsky holds on, drops it, and then sends the puck out into the neutral zone. Interesting choice. There may or may not be a phone call between myself and Coach McCarville on that one to talk about some decision making. As Smirsky has it, could have got a whistle. It does lead to a favorable result for the Raiders as
HCTV Sports is supported by Farmers Insurance, the Katie Lindbergh Agency. Katie Lindbergh, Hastings Downtown Farmers Insurance. If you don't know insurance, you need to know her.
Comes back, broken play as both teams going end-to-end rushes. It ends up being Jocelyn. Officially, it was Cans, but that's wrong. Cans was the guy who delayed and passed it over to Jocelyn, and then the assist, the second assist, was Jonathan Burmeister. That was number 4. Raiders win the face-off initially, but Rochester now breaks that, and here they come. They cross. Cans now centering. That's too far for number 9 momentarily, but off a bounce, Hedin has it. Rung back to the left side. Tominello has it. Met by Beff. Puck pops over the stick and into the netting. And the referee's going to blow the whistle. We will have a face-off on that left dot inside the Raiders zone to the blocker side of Smirsky. No other broadcasted sports in action tonight, so no scoring updates. Wrestling in action, as is swimming and diving. And I've been unsuccessful in finding any of those people to send me text message updates. But I tell you what, if I can get it, I absolutely will. Raiders now chip it out in the neutral zone. Sutton tries to hold, does so, battles, keeps it. And now Emmerich comes in. Emmerich just missed short side earlier on a deflection, and now he's going to give chase. He's a little bit behind the play now as it goes in the neutral zone. Here comes the Panthers. Jumping hand pass. Now they trade. Zaruba now gets it. Chips it up to Harris. Harris sidesteps the stick of Tominello. Delays. Tries to center. That was for Zagota looking for it. Goes off a skate, and now Beff goes to the near side to Wallstrom. Wallstrom rings it hard right to left. Raiders zone in the middle of a change, and so Wallstrom wisely delays up there to take away that stretch pass. You saw that if he goes hard to the defenseman, Tominello, well, number 4, Burmester, is already at the Raiders' blue line, and they're trying to get a change. 6 minutes left here in this second period. Diagonal pass, that hops Emmerich's stick. Niederkorn chips it past him now. Wallstrom, centering pass, on his feet. Here comes Chumslin. Chumslin walks in right-hand side, has it knocked off his stick on a near side boards by, I believe that's Sutton. Sutton correct, sleds it up to Hedin. Hedin gets the zone. Backhand save by Smirsky. Interesting choice there. Now here comes a turnover. Niederkorn has his pocket picked. Centering pass, misses the first guy. The defenseman gets it off of the stick of Carlson, goes into the corner where a Panther picks it up. Cycling down, but Niederkorn does a good job staying with his man. Floats in the neutral zone. Raiders going to be able to get a change, but Carlson's got to pay attention here. He does a good job of not changing. That delays him just enough, and now a block by Tegland off his right shoulder. That prevents one there. He got up a little gingerly, chips it out now. Into the neutral zone they go. Regenscheid, 22, has it. Crosses the blue, looks, shot. That one hits Jocelyn. He had the tying goal for the Panthers. Regenscheid low to high. Tegland over. There's Zaruba. Wrister deflected in front by Savage, but that one steered too far wide as Kraut skates into it. Has it knocked off his stick, and Savage picks it up. All 3 Raiders kind of bunched up. Now a short side shot. Regenscheid looking to hit right over the right blocker of the netminder, but that's not much of an angle. Now it goes to the right-hand corner by Kraut. Rochester trying to play the counterpunch game. Hedin in the neutral zone, unable to pick the pocket, but DeWeese does. That's number 42, the defenseman, but the Raiders chip it back in. Tegland behind the net. Jocelyn, D to D. Now stretch pass through the middle. Fevold gives it up to Clary. Clary drop pass. Fevold shot wide. Held in by Sutton at the near side blue. Sutton met by Harris. Floats a backhander, not enough mustard on that. Here comes Clary. Drop pass shot and held by Smirsky for a face-off. And the
HCTV Sports is supported by Balanced Wealth Management, Retirement Planning and Expertise.
Back and forth, up and down the ice. Now a shot flies high over the glove of the netminder Smirsky. Sutton holds it in. Chip to Beff. Beff now lays it for Harris. Harris floats it into the neutral zone where Tominello is there, but Carlson jumping up, pins it in and dumps it deep behind the net. Stopped. Now here comes Rochester, near side, into the neutral zone. There's Clary. Clary trying to find O'Reilly, instead floats it in on Smirsky, who holds on. So we have another face-off. Things starting to slow down a little bit, pace of play here. Part of that's just going to be the ice, but Rochester is really, really looking to counterpunch on this. Just not getting some of the center drive that'll move the Raiders D. That's what got that goal for him, is that F2 drove hard to the net, forced Carlson to go down, and then one Raider winger doubled up on the guy in the half wall, and their F3 was wide open. Now short side shot on Smirsky. He holds on. Zagoda and Beff quickly help out, as does Carlson, to make sure there's no second swat at it. Nice crowd here. Always helps having the pep band. Here you get a shot of Coach Klein and his staff. One of the great things about Hastings Sports, as we get a fall start, fall start on the face-off, Raiders are going to be waved out. But if there isn't multiple sports going on, you get a really, really good crowd here at the Civic Arena, especially from the student section. So always great to see that. We'll have a special guest, Hunter, if you're still tuning in. We will have a special guest second period intermission interview with one of our athletes from another sport having a great senior season here. Third tries a charm. Face off now. That's Emmerich. He wins it. Down back. Rister. Big block as down goes Vanderhoff. That one's going to sting. And it goes back onto the stick of Jocelyn. He's trying to find Emmerich. It goes through. Waved off, no icing, so Beff's going to have to retrieve it. Sends it up near side boards for Vanderhoff, who leaves it for Zagoda. Zagoda chip pass to himself. Bounce to the middle. He's down. Puck goes back to Carlson with time. Shot. Short side misses. Vanderhoff picking up a twig. Had it knocked out of his hand, and Harris took over the forecheck. Now Emmerich gets it as it's lifted over Vanderhoff's stick. Delays. D to D. Good play there. Jocelyn with time and space gets the red. He's going to keep going. Slides up. Trying to center. Emmerich was there, but good job by the Raiders D to take away that. Again, it's not just the Raiders. If you're watching hockey nowadays, the days of defensemen just staying back are over. You're just going to get beat. Too much movement. You're expected to be a hockey player at all positions now. Here comes Rochester. They've tilted the ice a little bit. Time of possession now as Sutton works against two Raiders. There's another defender down deep in the zone. Rochester sets up. Short side shot. Saved by Smirsky. Waiting on the back door. That was Brecken DeWeese. I don't think anybody saw him in yellow. Vanderhoff now fires it into Zagoda. Unintentional block shot. That time Carlson jumps. Raiders just want to get off the ice. One of the challenges in the second period is going to be the fact if you get pinned in. That is a long change. So Coach Klein giving a little clapper there as he is happy. As Vanderhoff going to the bench. He took a couple of block shots. Not all of them intentional. Of course, he repaid Zagoda with ripping one into him as Raiders now send out the energy line. Here's Chumslin stepping into that faceoff. That puck is tied up. Linesman stays there, goes a Raider way as Niederkorn stops it for Zaruba. Chipped up. Wallstrom unable to center it where he'd want. A couple of colliding Panthers. And the Raiders survive that potential turnover. Chumslin near side to Wallstrom. Wallstrom, good diagonal pass for that breakout. Looking for Guide. And Sutton steps up on it. That forces the Raiders back. No icing as we approach. 1 minute, 30 seconds left here in the second period. Turnover. Centering play. Zaruba gets just enough stick on it to prevent anything there. Now behind the net. Here's Chumslin. Chumslin, diagonal pass. Wallstrom gets a stick. Tominello has just enough of it. He's going to race back into the Rochester zone. Pressured by Wallstrom. Drop pass to Sutton, and now Regenscheid's going to take over the forecheck. Raiders in that 2-3. Here you're going to see Savage enter your screen, taking it over. there's that lack of an F3 by Rochester. Raiders doing a good job with back pressure in their D. Rochester not spreading them out like they did on that second goal. We're at 1 minute left as Johnny Tegland, senior captain, number 4, behind the net. Big dump, big hits. And Tegland is going to go to the box here. They're going to say either a cross check or a check from behind, as Tegland unhappy with the call. I'm going to look for the signal here. 43 seconds left. A little bit of an unforced error. Tegland doing a great job flying behind the net as that first forechecker. And then we talked about what are they looking for nowadays. Did you extend? Did you hit high? I don't like that the refs are talking. It was a pretty quick conversation, which is good. But Tegland comes in from behind, goes through. The extension wasn't huge. It was more momentum. So on initial look, it was a little bit of looking like a cross check, but it was really chest to chest. But it was from behind, no chance to play the puck. So they're going to whistle him for 2 minutes for something. As the Raiders now go to the kill, puck is sent all the way down. Harris going to be the first one there, and that forces Lappy to send it up on the near side board. 30 seconds left. Here comes Jocelyn. Jocelyn steps out to the right-hand side, gets the blue line, and now held down, and the Raiders are going to go 5-on-3 as Carlson ties up, delayed, and Chumson's going to block it. So that was a cross check to Tegland, and now I think it's going to be an interference to Carlson. And that is an unfortunate turn of events. Nope, they're going to go hold. So the Raiders are going to finish the last 14 seconds here down 2 men as Carlson just gets his stick on the wrong side, grabs onto him. One of the things you see is you don't move your feet, you get calls against you, and that's what caught him on that one. On the other hand, hey, Tegland moved his feet and just took himself right through the body. So the Raiders in a tough position here in a tied game with 14 seconds left. Set up. Walking in, time not on their side. Tominello has it, driving right-hand side, 5-on-3. Centering pass, good play, but saved by Smirsky. Now low to high, wrister deflected, and a good save by Smirsky at the whistle, holds on. We are going to take a quick commercial break on the radio side. We'll be back on the other side with an interview here on AM 1460 KDWA. On the TV side, we're going to take a moment here and look at what happened in the second period. The Raiders walked into that game, into that period, tied 0-0, and left it tied 1-1. They did strike first on that, as as Hunter's getting frustrated. So with that, that's okay. We're going to go to commercial break here on the TV side. On the other side here, Hunter, we'll be back with our special guest. Don't go anywhere. Raiders and Rochester tied after 34 minutes here on AM 1460 KDWA and HCTV.
Some you've heard of more, but it doesn't bother me because I just love to explore. Interviewing owners and lending a hand. I love to assist for as long as they can stand.
All right, we are back here on HCTV as the Raiders and Rochester Century are tied and now joined by the radio. I'm going to hand off the headset here so that my guest here, Owen Bernance, can hear. Owen, you got me?
Yep.
Attaboy. Raiders and boys hockey here tied up, but I want to talk to Owen Bernance, senior basketball player. Tough loss the other night to Matamidi, coming up with a big game tomorrow night against South St. Paul.
Yep.
Talk a little bit about your senior season. What's been going well? What have been some of the challenges? What are some of the main things going on this year in Raider basketball?
Yeah, so this year we're kind of we're a really close-knit group this year. I mean, we got a lot of guys that are returning from last year. We only really lost one guy from the rotation last year, so we're coming back this year a lot stronger so far. I mean, we're 7-5. Some games, I mean, lost a Park. You guys probably heard about that one at the buzzer. That was a tight game. Could have won that one. Had a 11-point lead with 2 minutes left against Coon Rapids. Could have won that one. So our record doesn't really show how good of a team we are this year. We're surprising a lot of people. Had a big dub last Friday against St. Thomas Academy. That was huge for us because they're a favorite in our conference. And I mean, just a few more shots to go in for us last night, and we win that game. I mean, we shot 28% from the field last night, and we still only lost by 8 points. So
see, I don't know enough about basketball, but I do know stats, and 28% isn't very high.
It's not
you
good.
talk about your record not reflecting, but the reality is you guys are. I've talked a lot in hockey about how we're in that low section as far as numbers, right? Like for hockey,
Right.
we're one of the smallest teams. For basketball, you're in that same boat.
Right.
And so when you talk about 7-6, though, you're playing some of the top teams in your conference. You mentioned St. Thomas.
Right.
You mentioned some of the other teams that you played. These are schools that some of them have 700-800 enrollment ahead of it.
Exactly.
7-6, not a bad record at all. In the section, talk a little bit about who are the big players you guys are going to have to get through to get to state.
Yeah, for sure. So last year, the last 4 years, we know it's been Eastview. They've been dominant every single year. They've gone to state every year, and they take at least top 3 every year. So this year they're struggling though. They're only 2-8 now, I believe. So they're at the bottom of our section right now. And I'd say it's Rosemount, Egan, and us really at the top 3 right now in our section. And it was a big for us to get that St. Thomas win because St. Thomas beat Egan a week prior, which is big for QRF for us. And I mean, it's really hard for us to kind of get noticed, I'd say, because we're the smallest 4A school in the entire state.
Absolutely,
You know what I
and that's, I've talked about that at length. That makes a big difference. You talked about Rosemount, 2,600 kids.
Exactly.
Egan, 2,400 kids. Being up in that conversation is a huge thing. Owen, thank you so much for joining us. Good luck tomorrow night. Good luck the rest of the season. On the radio side, we're going to go to a commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back on the other side with our second period recap on AM 1460 KDWA. All right, we are back here on AM 1460 KDWA. Shout out to all the camera guys working hard, and Hunter Pinky to my left. There you see the netminder. That is the upcoming broadcast as well for KDWA. Hey, as we mentioned, on the radio, so we go to this Trey Lauer. Sorry, I'm timing that one up. I wasn't nearly as good. Trey Lauer going to be on the air for KDWA tomorrow as the Hastings girls basketball team try to get to 7-6 against South St. Paul. And then Saturday, I'll be backing up 2 o'clock, boys versus Matamidi in hockey, and 5 o'clock, girls versus Blaine. And then next week on the 16th, Prescott boys basketball against Osceola. Trey will have that call. As we look, the Raiders just now joining. There's Brooks Smirsky on the right-hand side. So a lot of sports action here on AM 1460 KDWA. And Hunter will have an update later, I believe, on HCTV for us. So we'll give you a shout out on what you can tune in on that stuff. Again, lots and lots of sports as we get to finals and we get ready for the start of the playoff season here. Wrestlers in action. Geez, I wasn't paying attention. I forgot about Kyle Kreiser, who I've got on the old speed dial, chiming in that the varsity wrestling, both big wins against St. Thomas and Two Rivers. I asked if there are any pins. He said, quote, I don't know, just got the report from Beisel. And then said, I'm sure there were plenty of pins. And that's pretty normal when the Hastings Wrestlers are in action. So congratulations tonight to the Hastings Wrestlers as they beat both Two Rivers and South St. Paul. In this game, it's going to be a battle of who can make the fewest mistakes as we go down to the wire here. It is tied 1-1. It's been tied after every period so far. Not surprising, it's actually only 2 of them. But regardless, Raiders with a lot of work to do right now here as they have 2 in the box and 2 big people in the box for them, usually for the kill. Johnny Teglin, number 4, serving another minute 17 for a cross check. And then number 19, Brody Carlson, with a hold. Here comes Rochester. They gain the zone easily, 5-on-3. Left to right, there's Emmerich looking, back. Good power play setup, now diagonal across. They have it, they beat it, it's in. If you've been listening to me, you've heard me complain a lot about how teams are still playing a 1-3-1 when they got a 5-on-3 advantage, and that's so easy to kill against. Rochester, well coached, sets up really what you call a 5-a-die. In other words, like what a dice would look like with 5 on it. You got 2 low on their offhand. They got 2 high on their offhand. The top just play back and forth, keep away to open up a passing lane. They go down and backdoor, they bury it past a sprawling Smirsky, and the Raiders now are down 2-1. That goal goes to number 8, Bennett Pronk. 7, Emmerich gets the assist, as does Jocelyn, number 2. So 8 from 7 and 2. The Raiders now still have a minute 9 to kill off, as Carlson is still in the box. So tough start to that first period, as Teglin back on the ice. Battling, near corner, chips it up, unable to get it out. Sutton, now he loses it. Good pressure by Harris. Harris now steps in, trying to get it up to Vanderhoff, unable to do so. And so Harris is going to go to the box for a change, not to the penalty one, as the Raiders now pressuring. Here's Zagota, steps in, walks in. He's got Vanderhoff, feeds him. One-timer, shorthanded goal, and the Raiders tie it. If this is a PWHL, Carlson's out of the box. Doesn't matter though, the puck goes in the net. What a great job up front, shorthanded. Harris was the first one creating problem. I don't think he's going to get any stat on that, but Zagota feeds it across, just delays, as a great line change there. And Zagota on the right-hand side opens up. Vanderhoff from one knee just buries it past a sprawling number 50, Kyle Lappy. And what a turn of events here, as the Raiders have knotted it up. 15:43 left here. Raiders and Rochester tied 2 apiece. There's still 23 seconds left on the penalty to number 19. Now here comes Jocelyn. Jocelyn gets the blue. Still a man advantage. He's at the top of that 1-3-1. Drives to the right, looking for a shot. Swallowed up by Smirsky with 6 seconds left before Carlson was released. And that is the 18th shot on goal for Rochester. Again, when you talk about how to play things, it's not about going as fast as you can all the time. It's about creating those lanes. And the chemistry between 14, 24, and 21 just continues. Here's Jocelyn up top. Wrister shot. Smirsky never saw it. And now Carlson comes out of the box. And Ufta. No scoring in the first. Only 2 goals in the entire second. And we've already had 3 goals here, as the Raiders now trail 3-2. 2 penalties cost them. We talked about that's a lot of work to get out of that situation when you're down 5-on-3 and then 5-on-4. Clean win by the Panthers. Jocelyn just delays, rips it, should get an assist from the center. He just beat Smirsky high glove. Smirsky unable to see through traffic and get a hold of it. So the Raiders now back where we were just a little bit ago, and we're going to have a penalty right away the other side. Kraut working hard there, draws a penalty. Hedin disagrees for Rochester, but I'm not sure if you've noticed, referees don't seem to change their mind too much, so number 9 for Rochester is going to go to the box. And so the Raiders now get their own chance to try and score. 3 out of the 5 goals have come on special teams. 2 power play goals for Rochester, 1 shorthanded goal for the Raiders. Raiders have not scored on the power play so far. They've only had 2 attempts, a trip and a rough in the first period, to Rochester, as here Vanderhoff has it. Vanderhoff now short side to Harris. Harris delays, back up to Buff, now back over. Emmerich gets the assist for Rochester on that goal. Jocelyn, the goal scorer. Now Carlson back down. Zagota, interesting pass area. I think he thought Beff was going to be a little bit wider. Raiders don't usually set up on that right-hand side anyway, so the Raiders going to delay. Here comes a swing to Zagota. Zagota with speed, wheels to the right, diagonal pass across. That's the Vanderhoff. He has to stop. That's just such a tough play. We've talked about it all year. Vanderhoff playing that off wing because we don't have any except for one left-handed forward, so both Kraut and Vanderhoff in really tough spots. Here's Beff. Gives it over to Carlson. He's got space, but Emmerich does a good job closing that off, and so Carlson rings it back around, and the Raiders set up back where they want to on Vanderhoff's side. Rister, that one fired high, and the netminder went paws up, got a piece. Now it's back to Vandy. Short side drop, Beff with room. Rister, shot! Goalie didn't see it. It hit somebody, though. Bounces over to the side, and now Zagota gives it back up to Beff. Beff with time, near side corner, all the way down, and then Vanderhoff gets it on the half wall. Now pressured. Beff, and a good grab by a Rochester parent there, as otherwise a couple of ladies might have taken one of the chicklets. I'm not sure if they were watching. Regardless, puck goes out. 39 seconds left here on the penalty to number 9, Cooper Hedin. Face off, Zagota, drop back to Beff. Beff now near side to Vanderhoff. Vanderhoff back to Beff. Delays. Rister, far side, looking to get it through. That one's just going to be too far. Vanderhoff looking to get that bounce pass, but aimed for the post, not for the leg. And now here comes Rochester. They walk in. Rister, shot. Saved by Smirsky, rebound held by Zagota. He's just going to drop it to Beff. And there's 16 seconds left on the man advantage. So the Raiders going to get the zone, and that's about it if they're lucky. This one actually bounces off a Carlson skate. The Raiders slap it around a little bit, and now behind the net goes Beff. They've got pressure. Here's Fevold. He's putting pressure on the Raiders now. The delay by Carlson lets them to come out. We're back to 5-on-5 hockey as the Raiders are down 3-2. Zagota has it, flipped off. That's going to be offsides as it just rolled up off the back of his stick, and that alone created a little bit of a timing error as Vanderhoff had to wait for it to settle before he could come across the blue line. So we'll have a face-off in the neutral zone. Line change. Energy line comes out. Chumslin, Geib, and Wallstrom. Face-off near side, won by Rochester's. That's DeWeese, who sends it all the way back behind his own net. Stepping out near side, here comes Rochester with pressure. Chumslin misses on that poke, delays it enough, and now offsides goes Rochester. Puck is running around. They're going to say no offsides on that. That was egregiously bad from my angle. But then again, there's two big poles in the way, so we'll see. Behind the net, wraparound, puck is squirting through on Smirsky, and I'm not joking, that puck got through his 5-hole. Luckily, there was no zip on that, or that was going to squeeze through there. And that would have been a bad one. 12:33 left. Smirsky holds on for a face-off. Everyone's confused about where it goes. They're all lined up on the wrong side. So we're going to go to the near side here. Chumslin steps in for this faceoff. Raiders getting outshot 21-11 so far, so they're going to have to get this tilt back. Both times the Raiders have gone to the penalty, they have ended up getting on the wrong side of the shots. Now near side, held in. That's Hedin, number 9. Swats at it, unable to get it out. Now dropping back is Chumslin. Chumslin behind the net to Zaruba. Zaruba steps out at the far hash, delays, sends it through the legs of Teglin to the near side. Raiders not able to get the zone entry, and so Rochester sets up in theirs. With possession, near side, misses Hedin, too far. Teglin's going to give chase, no ice. Rochester in the middle of a change, so Teglin's going to stretch it, and there's Geib. Geib crosses the blue, rings it right to left. He's going to go for a change as now here comes the line of Regenscheid, Kraut, and Savage. Regenscheid all over Jocelyn, and no second forward for the Raiders there. Raiders are a 2-3 team, so you got to get that second pressure. That's how Rochester was able to cleanly break that out. Good job by Regenscheid to pressure, but no secondary pressure, so that'll be something the Raiders have to clean up. Instead, here we see number 7, Emmerich. He's going to dump it down, forcing Carlson behind his net. Bounce pass, past Burmeister. Now turnover, high slot. Backdoor pass was wide open. Dangerous pass by the Raiders, and now they're back trying to set up in the D zone. Good stick by Regenscheid. Pushed it to the right-hand side, low to high. Jocelyn sidesteps, trying to walk. He's on his offhand as a D. Instead, he's down below the goal, given all day to walk through. Big save by Smirsky. Raiders, nobody closed that gap on Jocelyn. He just slow played it until every Raider defender got out of the way. Now low to high shot. Big block by Savage. Great play there as Kraut knifes it out. We're going to get everyone changing. Raiders got to be careful here. Luckily, Rochester, I think, thought there was going to be an ice. There wasn't. So that allows the Raiders to completely change. 10:36 left here in this third period. Raiders down 3-2. A whole bunch of scoring in this third period as the puck is dumped in. Smirsky stops it, leaves it for Niederkorn, the sophomore. He's ridden off the puck by his numerical counterpart, Fevold to the near side. Centering pass, trying to find him. Rister, shot, short side, rebound, hits the inside of the post. Big hit. That one, again, you talk about the luck of the iron there, as the Raiders have had 3 pucks go off of posts. And the good news is that still keeps it a 1-goal game. Bad news, here comes Rochester with pacing. Drop pass, just misses O'Reilly. O'Reilly back down to 3. Here comes Fevold behind the near side. Low to high. Tominello just has it go through his skates, so Sutton's going to pick it up on that blue line. Gets the red, crosses the Raiders zone. That was a loud hit, not very an effective one, as Rochester keeps it behind the net. There's Clary looking for O'Reilly, cycles it back. Good defensive coverage by Zagota. Zagota flip pass, but Tominello is there, dropped into the middle, and now the Raiders finally get it with a little bit of speed. Here comes Harris, dumps it, trying to get around, runs into the back of Sutton. Sutton comes up with it as he just had body position. Wallstrom now comes in as the Raiders' middle of a line change. Big hit there by Chumsland, and they're going to call him for it. As down is Clary, and with that, we're going to take a commercial break. No, we're not. I thought we were going to, the way that Clary was rolling around, I thought for sure that we were going to have something, but instead, Clary gets up and skates. The bad news for the Raiders is the refs are talking. Chumsland came in. Clary had his head completely down on this. As we see the almost goal attempt there, hits the back side of it, but Clary had his head down coming through the neutral zone. Chumsland goes through, and so because of that, what we end up with is Clary looking back, Chumsland going for the puck, shoulder to head, and this is going to be more than 2, I'm almost positive. Referee's done talking. They're now talking to Klein, which means they're going to let him know how long Mr. Chumsland is going to sit in the box and for what. They're talking to both coaches on this one, so it's a little bit longer explanation here. I'm going to pop one commercial on the radio side. We'll be right back here on AM 1460 KDWA. On the TV, we're going to stick around. On the TV side, you see Coach Klein talking. There on the TV, it's Captain Johnny Teglin was talking, but Klein's getting an explanation of what's going on. We see 5 up for Chumsland. So this is no bueno for the Raiders, as Chumsland's going to sit no matter what happens for the next 5 minutes here in the box. We'll see what the official call is as the Raiders send it the length of the ice. So they're going to call interference is the call for 5, which is an interesting call to give somebody a 5 on. It's really the big hit that ends up being the issue there. Now back the other way. Here comes Rochester entering the zone. Bounce pass behind the net. And Teglin pushes it up. Rochester trying to set up in the zone. There's Emmerich. Bounces back. So the power play for Rochester is going to be a 5-minute variety as Chumsland in for interference. Like I said, interesting call that it's interference, but it's really head contact. I could have misheard as I'm trying to cover a couple of things here. But now deep into the corner is Rochester. Centering one time, short side. Emmerich trying to hit the one-timer there. As I mentioned, the bad news about 5 for the Raiders is they're going to be short no matter what happens over this next 4 minutes left on this penalty. Here's Jocelyn. He's already got 1. Shot, save, rebound. That kicks out. Correction, Jocelyn has 2. Low to high. Now here's Burmeister. Shot, Smirsky save, kick to the corner. Emmerich has it. Not only are the Raiders short-handed for this line, they're going to be tired at the end of it. Jocelyn up top. Down low to the right side, looking for Jocelyn in the middle, but there's Harris and Vanderhoff. They swipe it all the way down. The netminder comes out to try and stretch it, catch the Raiders as they're changing, but a great hustle by Zagota prevents that from turning into an odd man rush. 7:38 Raiders trail by 1, but they're going to be short for another 3 minutes and 18 seconds as Chumsland is in the box for that big hit. Bounce pass, held in by Feveld, number 10. At the Raiders blue line, Tominello near side. Now delayed, O'Reilly has it swatted off his stick by Zaruba, and a hard shot by Carlson hits the low side of the barn here, and this whistle is critical for the Raiders just to keep their legs under them. This used to be a game with huge section implications. Raiders moved from 1AA to 4AA now, so it's just a non-conference game. But a common opponent is important. Owatonna plays Rochester. Raiders beat Owatonna Tuesday, as now Rochester, Tominello has it set up. Centering pass, shot. That one hits a skate. Smirsky did not see it. And into the neutral zone goes the Panthers. Pressured by Zagota. They set it up for Clary. Clary near side. Gets the red. Then forced to dump in. Tried to ring. Smirsky unable to get it, so Feveld has it at the far hash. Lets it slide up a little bit before sliding it down to Sutton. Zaruba is going to be there. Unable to get enough back in on it. Now here's O'Reilly. Battle. Zaruba. Great hustle. Does a really, really good job. He tangles with 24 O'Reilly. Now this one does get up as Rochester immediately puts the pressure on the Raiders. Sliding was Regenscheid. Shot blocked by Beff off the stick. 2:09 left till Chumsland is out. Back over. Far side looking to go low to high. Just trying to get the goalie moving. Smirsky misses again. That one though, good job. Slid out, and then it hits the heating pipes for the old oil. Or no, that's actually going to be the water pipes up on that far side. Raiders get a much needed rest here as the whistle blows. 6:11 left here. Raiders playing their second game of the week. They'll have 3 by the time Sunday hits. They will face Matamidi in a Metro East game at 2 p.m. Jocelyn gives it to Emmerich. Now he loses it, and a good job by Wallstrom sends it. Wallstrom and Regenscheid both going. Wallstrom, good job. Nice communication there as he holds up. Regenscheid going to be the first forward. So the idea is don't get caught with too deep. Here's Jocelyn. He's going to leave it over to the left-hand side. Gaining the zone. That's Emmerich. Widens behind the net. Right in front of the student section. Low to high to Burmeister. Now slides it across the blue. Backdoor trying was Jocelyn to hit Emmerich for a one-timer. Nobody there, and then Emmerich just throws it into the middle. Raiders doing a great job keeping everything outside. Shots on goal so far in this 5-minute power play. They've only had 2. Shots on goal, unfortunately, still lopsided, 23-11 in favor of Rochester. Jocelyn gets the zone, chips it past Zaruba, then runs into Carlson. And 2-on-2 in the corner we go momentarily. Now Plonk over to Emmerich at the top, on the blue on the left side. Plonk in the middle. Backside, Burmester looking diagonal, doesn't see it, so goes back up to Plonk. Down to Emmerich. That's cycled. I think Jocelyn wanted Emmerich. It ended up on his stick, but after a little interference from somebody, here comes Burmeister. That's an interesting play. Just bounces off the skate of Emmerich. And now Rochester looking a little discombobulated. Raiders send 2 just a little too early, but the good news is goes off of Clary's stick onto Zaruba's, and he sends it. 27 seconds left. Raiders still killing this 5-minute penalty to Chumsland. Down 3-2 to Rochester. Here comes Feveld. Drives, dances, stick by Taglin, prevents it. Now the puck goes into the neutral zone, slides all the way down, and held on to momentarily by Lappy, the netminder. He leaves it for Sutton, who stops. Zagota wheels, backpedals. That's going to allow Guy to come in to play that forecheck. Shot off sides, high, and the Raiders have survived 5 minutes of being on the kill, and most importantly, they gave up 2 shots. That's it. 2 registered shots on goal in that 5 minutes. As a great job by guys blocking shots all over. We've seen that tonight from a whole bunch of people, not just the defense. We saw Will Savage slide and take one. Blake Vanderhoff, number 14, hobbled off after one. Now the Raiders try to reset. They're down by a goal. Here comes Niederkorn, chips it up to Kraut. Kraut, the other off winger, righty, playing the left-hand side on this line with Chumsland and Savage. Breaking the forecheck. Here comes Rochester. They chip past. It goes on Smirsky, who fires it off the boards, and that one ends up off the boards, and the Raiders come out. Kraut, cross-ice dump, held. That time by the netminder. Raiders running out of a little bit of time here. Good news is Rochester looks just as tired as the Raiders do. Here comes the Raiders' first line. We'll see when Coach Klein decides to deploy his timeout. We'll also keep an eye on the right-hand side to see Smirsky. Face off, won by the Raiders. Zagota turns it, rips it, goes to left-hand corner. That puck bounces out in the neutral zone. Here comes Rochester. Burmester chips it past. Zaruba picks it up, goes behind Smirsky, wheels, hits the brakes, turns, near side pass to Vanderhoff at the hash, chips it out with speed with Zagota, unable to get possession, and now here comes Prunk. Crossing the red, then the blue, bounces it left to right behind Smirsky. Zaruba's going to be there. He's got Niederkorn with him, so he chips it back, reverses course, but Zagota's there, and that floats out in the neutral zone. Tominello's there as it was just a little too far for Harris. Harris and Vanderhoff, the two Raiders. Good job by Vanderhoff. Lifts a stick, battling, pushes it up. Zagota just out of his stick reach, but that's okay. Niederkorn's there to send it back in. We're going to get a start of a line change here. Zagota and Harris stay out. On the ice comes Wahlstrom as Vanderhoff goes to the bench. Chipped into the neutral zone to Carlson. Carlson now to Wahlstrom, bounces it in. Not deep enough, so here comes Rochester. Crossing the blue as a defender, chips it up, but Teglin has it, and now we've got interference on a Raider. And I didn't see it. They're going to call interference on Wahlstrom. Senior captain John Teglin not happy at all. See if we can pick it up here. Rochester was coming out. They're sliding up. That's an absolutely terrible call. That's an absolutely terrible call. As he's got plenty of space, he's got plenty of room. He chips the puck up because Wahlstrom's coming back. And now the Raiders back on the kill. Up top, Tominello. Short side. Battling on the near hand side. Yeah. If you're going to call anything, it's a slash, and it's a terrible call. Johnny Teglin absolutely correct to think that was bad, especially in this game. Now short side. Here comes Rochester. Up to Tominello. They can just grind the clock here. They got a minute 33 on the power play. Good block by Teglin. He's going to send it all the way down. The problem is there's only 2:03 left here in the game. Raiders are going to be shorthanded effectively for the rest of the game here as they are trailing by 1. Both Rochester goals come on power plays. Now here's a turnover, neutral zone. Here comes Sutton, delays, tries to shoot. Good save by Smirsky, kicked out. Zagota's going to be flying. He's going to be alone though, as there are 3 Rochester players with him. Zagota rips it, fires it far side. Here comes Harris in. Harris ridden off by Bomeister. I always want to say Bomeister because of the NHL player. This is actually Burmester. Sutton now battling. Good job by Zagota to keep it tied up. Raiders pressing as much as they can, but now here comes a breakaway. Pronk slides in. Zaruba gets a bottle on it. Saved by Smirsky. Rebound pushed in. And out of the box comes Wahlstrom. So the Raiders again struck on the 5-on-4. We'll see what Coach Klein does here. There's going to be a timeout. So on the radio side, we'll take a commercial break real quick. Raiders down 4-2. We'll be right back. You can see that rebound kicks out as the Raiders forced to pressure on that because they're down a goal. So they get both D up a little bit. Pronk sits in the middle. Smart play by Rochester. And then gets the shot on goal there. He splits both D. Rebound comes in. Assist goes to 4 Burmester. 8 gets the goal. That's Bennett Pronk. Again, the big frustration for the Raiders is going to be the fact that that call on Wahlstrom on the interference was an interesting call. Let's just say that. No interference, didn't stop his feet, didn't stop his path, throws a stick at him. And he was already, the Rochester player was already in the process of dumping the puck in. Regardless, can't fight the refs, doesn't make no difference. Raiders now going to have to come out of this and try and come back from a 2-goal deficit. Interesting to see timeout is over now. Raiders will see how long until Smirsky hits the bench. There's only 1:14 left. They're down by 2. I can tell you this, Coach Klein does not care. Yep, Smirsky's already on the bench. Klein doesn't care if you lose 5-2, 6-2, 7-2. The goal is to come back and try and win this. So the extra skater on the ice is going to be actually a defenseman, Carlson. He gets the puck now, has it just pop over his stick. Puck is sent down. That'll be an icing. And so those of you that tune in the South St. Paul tournament, this is one thing that frustrated me as a coach and watching is how often the Raiders, instead of just being smart, getting the red and dumping it, instead would throw it all the way down for an icing. And now you set up an offensive zone faceoff. That was a great play for the Raiders by the mistake on Rochester. So we'll see what happens here. Zagota steps in for the faceoff on the right-hand side. Cleanly won. Vanderhoff rips it, hits a body, bounces to Carlson at the near side point. They got to get 2, so they can't just delay. Save. Now Harris to Carlson. Another shot. That was actually Vanderhoff. Vanderhoff wheels. Low to high. Carlson has time and space. Gives it over to Beff. Beff down. Zaruba fans on it. Gets it back to Beff. Beff now one-time shot. Hits traffic. Doesn't clear. Puck bounces through. And it is sent 200 feet for another icing. 44 seconds left. Shots on goal. 26-15 in favor of Rochester. The stat that matters, Raiders in the box for 2, 4, 6, 8, 13 minutes, including some critical penalties that all piled up at the end of the second and the beginning of the third. Now shot, one-timer by Carlson. Just ripped. Centering pass, misses. Carlson keeps it in near blue line. Bounce pass to Vanderhoff. Just misses down low. Raiders retrieve it at the far blue. Beff sends it in. Shot, rebound, save. That one comes right through the feet of Vanderhoff. Now Carlson, time, space, ripped. The goaltender did not see it, but it went over the net. Beff now trying to get it through. Harris to Vanderhoff, near side. Centering pass to Zagota. Flipped off backhand. That's going to go 200 feet. And with 12.4 seconds left, the Raiders will have another face-off opportunity, but a little bit tough to come back, score 2 goals in 12.4. Love the aggression by Coach Klein here to pull right away. Face-off will be on the near-hand side. Zagota's going to be able to pull it clean to Vanderhoff if he wins it. Drop, tied up. Clary goes to the left-hand side, and he's going to try and get his point. Misses, and another face-off. And that's what I mean by just hockey awareness. You're up by 2, you don't need a goal. You get the red line, you chip it in, you win the game. Took the Raiders 2 games to learn that, though, in the South St. Paul tournament. Executed it perfectly to finish out and win the championship against Rochester. Unfortunately, penalties caught up to the Raiders on this one. And now the save by the netminder with 0.8 seconds left. They're going to get a face-off drop, and the Raiders are going to drop this season to 9-5 as they lose this one to Rochester Century John Marshall. Coach Klein sending guys out there. I think he thought they were just going to drop it and call it good. They're pushing them back off. Face-off game. On the radio side, we're going to take a commercial break. We'll come back with our end of the game recap here as the Raiders drop this game 4-2 to Rochester John Marshall on AM 1460 KDWA, FM translator 97.7 W249DK. On the TV side, you can see the Raiders there getting ready for the handshake. Final score 4-2. Raiders drop this tough one. It all started on the penalty kill. Raiders down 2 men, beautifully executed by Rochester. They slide it over across backdoor. Smirsky sprawling, but too much time and space. That makes it 2-1 Rochester. But right away shorthanded. Beautiful pass from Zagota to Vanderhoff. Beats the netminder, shorthanded to tie it back up. Problem is Raiders still had another penalty kill. Puck goes up. Jocelyn gets his second of the night. Drags it wrister. Smirsky unable to see through traffic. 3-2. That ends up being the game winner. The icing on the cake comes as a breakaway pass finds Pronk. He comes down, shot, saved by Smirsky, gets his own rebound, goes 5-hole, and the Raiders drop a heartbreaker 4-2 to move to 9-5 on the season. Upcoming broadcasts for HCTV. Girls basketball, that's against South St. Paul. That's tomorrow night as the Raiders girls hoops try to go to 7-6. Then 1:16, a little bit out. We're going to be back here. Girls hockey versus North Tartan in Metro East action. Then a little wrestling action. Reminder, wrestlers beat South St. Paul and Two Rivers tonight. Simley, one of the toughest teams in the state for sure. And then a little boys hoops. You heard from Owen Bernance in between the second and third period. Boys basketball game again tomorrow night. 7-6, their record. Shout out to everyone making this possible. Producer director Hunter Pinky. My name's Josh Colvin. Camera operators Ian Andrzak, Seth Essler, Max Slocum, and then graphics and replay Hunter Pinky. So for everyone here at HCTV, thank you so much to our sponsors. Thank you so much to all of you tuning in. Final score, Raiders lose 4-2 to Rochester.